Well, hello and welcome. I know I've been away from YouTube. I'm not sure, 6 months, maybe longer. But I've had the biggest quantum leap in my life, and I've had multitude of them. And I've gotten really clear on what it takes and what you need to do to have a quantum leap. So if you're new to my channel, I just want to say hello. And if you're existing and wondered where it happened to me, life happened. And when life happens, sometimes it's when we back away. And when we're not feeling the intuitiveness to do this, is what happened. So let's go back in time here. So I just want to reintroduce myself. My name is Yvonne Purvis. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. And I am from Toronto, Canada. But 2001, I moved because I met a man and I started dating around the world. Yeah, I started dating him from Toronto, Canada, all the way to Australia, Sydney, Australia. It was actually Newcastle. And then I moved in 2003. Biggest move. I had a company, I had employees, you name it, cars. I had 2 cars. I had a house I had to sell, and I was led and went and moved. A lot of people can't do that kind of stuff. It's probably why I'm so good at it. And so what happened in those 25 years, because now the reason I'm back on my YouTube is because I've come back to home. I've come back into Toronto, Canada, and the experience and the life that I've had in my life has really shifted my entire energy. When our soul is happy and alive, we know it. And when it's not, we know it. So today I just want to introduce myself in understanding of what is identity, because I've always been coaching on identity. And identity is who you are right now. So how do you introduce yourself? Are you introducing yourself that you work for this company, you're the CEO, you're a business owner, and you have 2 kids and you have this? That is not your identity. Your identity is how you are, how you act, confident, enthusiastic, take opportunities. It is more about the way you show up, right? Having strong boundaries, having there's so many things that I needed to learn in living in Australia and marrying somebody. And, life is about a journey. It is all about growth and growth and growth. So going back to who I am, I had being from Toronto, Canada, and now being back here, it's just been like night and day. My life has changed. My business is quantum leaping. My life is quantum leaping in all areas. And I'm right now in a beautiful little Airbnb. And so what happened is it was 2 years ago, I came back to Toronto to visit my family. And I'm now divorced, so I'm not with the man that I married. We separated in COVID in 2019 and divorced. And in that next 6 years was massive in my life. I moved 7 times, including this one, 7 times in 6 years. Yeah, no joking. Did it all on my own. My family's all here. I didn't have any friends helping me or any of that. I just did what I needed to do what I needed to do in all of those moves. And so what happened in this coming back to Toronto is been life-changing, because quantum leaping and identity work, as I was talking about, identity is how you are being. And it's either you're being a not confident woman, or you're not successful, you're limited mindset, you are shrinking yourself, you're afraid to do this, you're afraid to do that, right? This is how we are being as a person, as a woman. And so when I met my ex-husband, I was confident. I had a multi-million-dollar business. I had an incredible life, right? Like traveled whenever I wanted to. I had 2 cars. I had an incredible team. life was really good. And he loved this energy because it's a frequency, right? It's an abundance. It's everything in life. And this is where opportunities come. So my channel now is really about quantum leaping and really deepening into identity. And the thing about quantum leaps, it's basically saying that time bends for you, right? So things happen fast because you're doing super fast growth and being tested along the journey. And I'm not talking about little tests. I'm talking about things coming up every single day. And God is saying to you, are you sure you want this thing? Are you sure you want this thing? And it was so incredible. I'm still in it, even though I'm in Toronto, Canada. I'm still in the movement of all of it, still having things that I have to do that is showing up. But now I'm different. Where when I started the move, it was like, oh, gosh, I was not understanding some of it. But moving back, so the lessons I learned and the identity that I'm in is completely different than when I'm sure if you went and saw some videos of my master classes, my energy would be different because we are energy beings and our soul, our heart is always driving us to where we want to go. But it's a matter if you listen to it. Are you listening to what you really want? So how this coming back to Toronto, Canada happened for me was coming back 2 years ago. I came back from my niece's wedding in Toronto and I was also working. So what happened was that I staying with my parents. And then when I had to come down to Toronto and I stayed in a different section and I stayed there and kind of got, wow, feeling energetic, feeling Toronto, big city. And then I went and stayed in a different area where my niece was getting married and I had some time to on myself again. And that's when I knew I fell in love with Toronto. I fell in love with being and connecting back with my family. I'd been away from them for so long. I did come back and forth, but it's not the same, right? But I couldn't leave. I had my beautiful Sasha. She was 14 years of age 2 years ago. And she wasn't up for the move. She just could not have handled it. She would have been almost like 13 and a half or something. And so I had to wait. And so we waited. And in January this year, I put her down. She was my baby girl. It was horrible. There was lots of grief. And but then I grieved, and it was sort of like the gateway opened. Because I used to talk to her. I used to say, Sasha, mommy wants to travel, and mommy wants to do this, and it's mommy's safe. Because her and I were in this little back and forth of she kept me safe, I kept her safe, and keeping her up. And it was like this beautiful relationship with my dog. And we all know dogs are just an amazing creatures. They teach us things, and she was teaching me things, but she was also there to help me and keep me safe. And so I went on a trip. My mentor, and there was an event, and I went to California. I love California. And I went with the intention thinking, what would it be like to move? And I really thought I'd be moving, first of all, right to California, but not yet there. Anyway, when I got off the plane, I was like, oh my God, I'm just a different woman. Australia was done. I closed the chapter. So think about what in your life do you need to close on? Where are you keeping yourself small? Where are you showing up and not really wanting to be there? And this is all areas of our life. It's friends, it's relationships, it's partners, it's your business, your whatever, right? As an entrepreneur, as a niche, what are you doing that you don't feel like you want to be doing? And so I knew my energy and how I was feeling about Australia. It had done 25 years there, and I was done to close that chapter, close it for good, never going back. And some of my friends, running friends, kept saying, oh, don't Yvonne, don't be so, you'll come back. I said, I'm never coming back. I've had 25 years here and I'm done. Cut the cord. There was no conversation. And I think some people maybe felt hurt, but they were all from Australia. They have no idea. They never understood being away from your family, being single in a small little beach town, you know. They can't. You can't understand somebody if you haven't done the walk they've done, right? And it was okay for me. I was closing the chapter and I shut it down. So what happened? Sashi went down. I came back from California and I was so excited. Everyone's like, are you moving? I'm like, I'm moving. I'm out of here. I'm going to California. And then I went back into my comfort zone because this is what happens in life. Whatever you're sitting in your life and you're not propelling forward, you're staying the same because it's super safe, because the mind tells us this is comfortable, this is where I should stay. I did it in my divorce, in my marriage. I wanted to leave, but I didn't have the strength. I didn't listen to the intuition. I ignored it. And when we ignore it, we go down paths that maybe we don't want to go down, paths that can be very, very challenging, paths that aren't always so easy. And I'm going to be really clear and super honest here. My marriage was never easy. Never. Certainly we had some really great times in the first 10 years, but we lived in fantasy. I was going back and forth. I had a business still here in Toronto, coming back to Toronto 3 times a year. And when I came back here, it was like getting away from him and Australia. Okay. Lesson 1 wasn't meant, right? And anyway, at the end of the day, it was all lessons. So when we finally start listening to ourselves and trusting ourselves is where things change. And I knew I was keeping myself small. I got very comfortable again in my home, thinking I'm good. I don't need to leave. And then I would sit there and I'd still feel like I was falling apart in a way. I was bored, to be honest. There was no growth happening in my life. When I came over here and around all these people and I'm growing and I'm in a different level of who I am, because that's what we're doing here. If you want to grow and have a successful business and you're making an impact on the world or in your store, whatever it is that you do, it's your identity that must change in order for you to have more. So what are you still hanging on to in your life that you don't want? And where are you not trusting yourself? So I trusted myself and I caught myself and I said, no, I'm moving. But it took a little bit to sort of figure out where I was doing and how that was looking. But then I got it all sorted. And this is now where I'm at and the energy. And I'm finally like feeling like, okay, I'm ready to be back here and help as many women and men as I can with my story, with understanding what a quantum leap is, not the fluff about it, not the, oh, this is so easy over here and this is what you do and you do this and this and this, or 5 steps to something. There's no 5 steps to this, okay? This is about life. This is about changing who you are. You've got to want more to change. And I wanted more. I've always wanted more, but I kept myself small. So ask yourself, where are you keeping yourself small? But where I'm so excited to be back here, I just was like, okay, we're going. I'm getting my team together who's going to support me, which I'm so grateful for. A whole brand new team. I mean, everything has been new. I sold, the story can go on and on and on, but I'm not going to go and bore you to tears about my story. I want you to think about, what would you love for your life? Where is it in your life? The identity in having more money is a frequency. And I used to talk about money a lot on my channel. And I want to talk about it again. I want to talk about opportunities and money and relationships, all areas, because I have had so much experience in my life and that I've coached it all. And you know what? There is nothing, and I'm not saying this from an ego point of view. I'm saying that I've had a very, very big life because I did the things that most don't do. I went and did, I was in a car accident at the age of 18. Somebody hit my car and it was a write-off. And I had extremely I still have neck issues from it. It ended my dancing career. There's Toronto, Canada. I love it. I love it so much. There's so much abundance here. And so where was I going with that story? But so what happened with that is that I ended up being awarded $50,000. That was a lot of money back then. And you know what I did? I went because I've always disliked winter, and Toronto has a lot of it. And I wanted to live somewhere warm. So you know what I did? I went and bought a I guess it was like a condo, but it was a house in a community, a gated community. I went and bought a property at the age of 19 for $50,000. These are the things that I have done. These are the big, bold moves that have happened in my life that I continue to do, excluding the 10 years in the middle there that I got a little bit lost. So when you return home, and I mean it in your heart, returning home to who you are meant to be, and stop keeping your smile, stop people pleasing, stop thinking you should do this when you want to go do here. And what about saying, you know, you commit to something and then you don't feel like going, but you go and push yourself through. There's nothing wrong with saying, I can't make it tonight. So these are the boundaries. These are the lessons. And through my channel, I'm going to start sharing more of this with you. And I want you to start thinking about, what would you love in your life? What would you love in your business? And of course, business coaching is what I love doing, right? Because I'm an entrepreneur, business owner. I'm actually getting my company registered in Toronto, Canada. Like, I am going through so much shift again. It will be like, it's going to be incredible over these next 6 months, 5 months now. We're into August 1st. So it's going to be really fun. And it's going to be bold moves. It's going to be listening to my intuition. It's going to be, I want to create an impact on my channel for you to do and live your life the way you want it. Truly, truly want it. But that comes down to you doing it. I can't do it for you. I can't make you make those decisions for you. It's something that we have to do on our own. And when you start trusting yourself, and when you start knowing that you can have anything you want, and you can have the millions of dollars, you can have the TV show, you can have the business that is like servicing and helping thousands and millions of people, the impact that you want to create in your life, it is all there and available for you. The #1 Amazon book, speaking on stages, it's all waiting for you. Maybe it's your relationship. Maybe it's meeting that amazing man. Maybe it's like that house you want, that dream home that's like $4 or $5 million. Whatever it is, it's there. It's just waiting for you to take the next step. So I want you to ask yourself, what would you love? What would you absolutely love right now? And then feel into that, because this is what we're going to do. We're going to start feeling again, feeling everything. When I'm going to leave you with this one thing, and I'm going to say, I didn't cry for such a long time. So I cried through my marriage, the divorce, and then I started to feel very sort of like just holding it together as a female, you know, holding it together. And as soon as I made the decision to move back to Toronto, and after I sold all my furniture, got out of the house, didn't even look back at the house. I was just like, gone, because I'd already left, right? This is where our vision is, where we see what we want in our life. And when you know you've already done it, it's like you don't even worry about saying goodbye, because you've already done it, because you've done it in your head. All right. And that's the visualization of all this. This is how it works. This is how manifestation works. This is the part of the quantum leap. So anyway, so all of a sudden, I stayed down at a hotel for 7 nights so I could rest, because it was one of the biggest moves. It took me 2.5 months to organize everything, sell everything. I sold every single item in my house. was sleeping on an air mattress, and an air mattress got picked up the day I left. My coffee machine got sold the day I left. Like it was insane of the energy that I went into that. And as soon as I got to the airport, I started crying from this. Oh my gosh, I'm doing this. And every airport I had to do it wasn't an easy flight coming back home here. Because I wanted to make sure I was in the right plane. I was flying business, and I want sometimes you got to check the plane, okay? When I had to learn the hard way on that. Sometimes I just booked, and all of a sudden you get on a not such a business class flight. So I had to make sure I was on the right planes to all over. So it was a longer 4 planes I had to change, and every one of them I cried. And the one that is most memorable was coming into the USA, because I love the USA in California. I got off the plane and had this incredible conversation with the customs officer. We spoke for 30 minutes with a massive lineup because I was crying. And he goes, "Oh, I can feel your energy. Your crying isn't from sadness." He said, "It's like you're so excited and happy." I said, "I am." And I started crying again. But we had this connection. And that's what I was missing. Connection is everything. And then I was walking down in the airport, and this flight attendant, I don't know, I can't remember what happened, but she gave me a big hug and said, "Welcome home." It was just like everything I wanted. Now the universe and everything was showing up that I made the right move. And this is what we have to do. We can't wait to see what we want. We have to move first. Then you see it as all the signs that you're waiting for, and the money and the opportunities. All right. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. I am just, like I said, I felt very energetic today, and it aligned with coming on here, putting my video, saying hello, reigniting myself, and stay tuned because we're going to have a lot of fun. And love to hear from you. Pop in the comments. But otherwise, stay tuned. Make sure you're watching out for the next episode, because it's going to be a lot of fun. See you real soon. See ya. Have a beautiful day.